Now recently, the Nintendo Wire team got our hands on a near-finished build of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and not only did we get to play characters like Isabelle, Ken, and Incineroar, but we also got the opportunity to play the upcoming Spirits mode, a mode that, since it was first announced, I was incredibly excited to try. I mean, it looked so radically different from anything I've seen in Super Smash Bros., and after having the opportunity to actually play it, I'm convinced this is going to be one of the most fun experiences in this game. Now, in case you don't know, spirits are essentially taking over for trophies. Trophies have been around since Super Smash Bros. Melee, so this departure is definitely a bit different, but with trophies, they really didn't do a whole lot. They sat there, you could kind of look at them, and that was really about it. But in this case, spirits actually add this whole new level to the game. Now, when you enter Spirit Mode, you find something called the Spirit Board. The Spirit Board has wanted posters scattered all around it featuring a different spirit that you can capture. At the very top of the poster, you have a rating. It goes anywhere from Novice to Advanced to Ace, all the way up to Legendary. This is kind of telling you what kind of experience you're going to have. The more stars on the wanted poster, the harder the spirit is going to be to capture. The Legendary spirits are incredibly difficult, while the Novice ones, well, they're pretty darn simple to get. Now, each one of these spirits does something very different. For instance, we took on the Urbosa spirit from Breath of the Wild, and it took us to the Gerudo's Valley stage, and we fought Zero Suit Samus. Now, this is where the fun starts. The main platform was covered in lightning, and it really resembled the Von Naboris stage from Breath of the Wild. While it was apparent that we weren't actually fighting Urbosa, the small little details that they have with each one of these spirits, you can definitely feel that vibe. Another example of this, and probably my favorite spirit that I saw so far, was Swanky Kong. Now, selecting the Swanky Kong spirit from the board essentially put Donkey Kong in Swanky Kong's shoes. Now, the thing about this one is that the enemy is easily distracted by items, kind of like Swanky Kong is easily distracted by fancy things. Now, again, this is kind of ridiculous, but I really like the time that Nintendo put into this. Now, who would have thought that a character like Swanky Kong would be represented in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? It's just the really small details that make this mode a lot of fun to play. Now, once you're done selecting what character you want to fight, you can actually equip support spirits. Each one of these spirits either makes you more powerful or immune to certain things. Certain spirits will give you immunity to electric or fire attacks, and other spirits will actually equip an item in your hand right when you start the game. One instance of that was the Vulpix spirit, that essentially gives you a fire flower right when the game starts, kind of like Vulpix's fire. Another instance is the Eevee spirit that gave me a Tanuki tail that kind of resembled an Eevee tail right off the bat as well. These tiny little details, again, really made this mode a lot of fun to play, and really made a lot of matches really unpredictable. And that's something that I really like about this game. Now, for how many spirits there's going to be in the final game, we really don't know. However, we can report there's going to be a lot of them. The person in charge of our demo actually let us know that there could be over 1,000 spirits in the final game, which is kind of mind-blowingly huge. And if each one of these spirits has the care and time dedicated to it that the spirits we had the opportunity to play, this game is going to have hundreds and hundreds of hours of replayability. Now finally, I want to talk real quick about capturing a spirit. So after you take a spirit on, you're essentially taken to a screen where you're given what appears to be a large cannon that you need to fire at a spirit. There's a rotating barrier that has a small gap. You have to get your cannon fire through that small gap to capture the spirit. Now you have two options. If for any reason you fail, you can either A, spend coins to try again, or B, the next time you fight that spirit, that gap will be wider. So there's definitely a lot of options. It's a really fun kind of mini game, and overall, I really liked how you capture the spirits in this game as well. But that's everything that we know so far about spirits. Expect a lot of coverage from Nintendo Wire coming up in the coming weeks as we approach the launch date of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But until then, guys, stay wired in.